All right. A very good afternoon to everyone, to all of our viewers, to a wonderful, esteemed panel of experts we have joining us. Welcome to season three of Leading the Change with Higher Education Leaders. This is an ET Education initiative in partnership with Coursera for Campus, and I'm your host, Devina Lasson. Now, as we can see, as the world of work evolves, the value of what exactly a degree needs to deliver is truly changing. Employers are increasingly in want of graduates who bring not just academic knowledge, but demonstrable job ready skills. And so, drawing from very interesting insights from Coursera's 2026 Micro Credentials and Impact Report, which brings together perspectives from more than 3,500 learners, employers, and university leaders globally, we'll take a look today at how micro credentials can truly strengthen employability, how they can accelerate workforce readiness, and of course, ultimately help bridge the gap between what students learn and what employers need the most. So, without any further ado, let's kickstart our very first episode, Re Architecting the Degree, Building Future Ready Graduates in India with Micro Credentials. Joining us today are a very esteemed panel of experts who are here to share their perspectives. We have Professor Nagraj Ram Rao, Vice Chancellor, KIET, deemed to be University Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Ajit Singh, Vice Chancellor, Sanskaram University. Dr. R.K. Taylor, Director, Chhatrapati Shahu Institute of Business Education and Research, Maharashtra. Professor Anupama Kaushik Sharma, Vice Chancellor, Madan Mohan Malviya University of Technology. And Prashasti Rastogi, Senior Director at Coursera. To all of our panelists, a very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you. Wonderful. So, let's get kick-started right away. Just to lay some context, some foundation here, as India is truly fast becoming a global talent hub. Professor Nagraj, we'd love to start with you. Can you help us understand what role can higher education institutions play in really leveraging micro-credentials to prepare our graduates who are very ready to succeed in both India's evolving workforce, but also in a very global skills-first economy? Right, so what is the role that we are seeing higher education institutions playing here? Over to you.
Good afternoon, all of you. It's a pleasure to be part of this discussion. Uh, I will tell with my experience because I've been exclusively using Coursera, not at Kite now, at Mohan Babu University, my earlier, assignment, and also prior to that in Kalaslingam. So both these institutions, we have exclusively used Coursera. We have an MOU with them. And on, I think every year there are about 7,000 plus students who are registering for various courses on the Coursera platform. So that is a brief thing. But to come to the question that you have asked, how the micro credentials can be part of the higher educational system, and why is it necessary? The first and foremost thing is, see, there are statutory requirements where the statutory bodies, where the entire university systems is governed by the UGC, which says at least 20% of the credits must come from MOOCs. The desirable is what is 20% of the credits will come from MOOCs. And the second is a necessary thing where I would like to add the national education policy to the UGC statutory requirement, where national education policy says the skill enhancement, skill development, upskilling of the students. This is another very important aspect. So in both the cases, I would like to leverage the usage of micro-credentials. Micro-credentials play a very important role because the platform like Coursera has thousands, tens and thousands of courses which is coming out from various experts, both from academia as well as from industry. And you name the specialization, you name the type of technology, you get a course in the Coursera. Now, how do I embed it into my system? So again, Coursera has a team which helps the academic institutions in tailoring the courses to their requirements. Because see, when as a vice chancellor and head of academics, when I say that it has to be a credit course, and when I say it should be a 3-credit course or a 4-credit course, whatever is the credits that I award to the course, then obviously there should be certain amount of work done which is attached to each of these courses. And because Coursera may have multiple varieties of courses, some courses may be 12 hours, some courses may be 20 hours, some courses may be 30 hours. We use something called as course builder platforms and then curate the courses. There is a curation team which is associated, and then create a specific course. Now, this is about when I talk about adding it into my credit system and giving those 20% of credits. Parallelly, what the other thing that we did in my earlier assignments was that we created skill pathways, because that was also possible. We created an AI engineer skill pathway. We created data analyst skill pathway. We created an IoT specialist skill pathway. You create multiple skill pathways, and there also the usage of the courses from Coursera was very useful, because I had specific tailor-made 10-hour, 12-hour duration courses which can add to the skill sets of the students, finally leading to global certifications. All these courses leads to global certifications which are well recognized by the employers of job market. Now, why do we need to do both these things? Very important is, and why do statutory bodies want us to do all these things is basically, I talk about something called the shelf life of any graduate coming out of the university system. First and foremost, we see all these surveys coming out of all the major professional organizations and bodies like NASSCOM, CII, telling that only 10, 15, 20%, where the percentage varies, who tell that these are the only students or graduates who are employable, rest are not employable. That is, with the conventional education system, I say that only about 15-20% of the graduates coming out of the Indian university systems are employable. The rest need some additional handholding and additional upskilling. And that is where the statutory bodies have intervened and made these things, mandatory, and told that these things has to be done. And that has been leveraged to a maximum extent. When I talk about the shelf life of the students, how does these micro credentials extend the shelf life of my graduates? First and foremost thing, it creates a lifelong learning acumen in the student. They know there is some platform like Coursera available at their disposal. They know there is a structured learning mechanism, structured learning platform available, and they get used to the system. And then, because see, there is no upper limit on the number of certifications, number of courses a licensee can take in Coursera. He can take any, depending upon his or her capabilities. They can register for n number of courses and then get those certifications and get those credits to themselves. So that is one way of doing it. The second thing is that along with the lifelong learning acumen, you are also creating a specific, as I said, skill pathways. You are creating specific groups where you are adding multidisciplinary skills within the graduate, so that his usability or her usability in the industry wherever they are appointed will not die down in the 6 months or 1 year that they are in that industry, because the projects in the industries keep changing, and they should be deployable across any project that comes in the industry. And in case the student has the type of skill sets, and he or she, the graduate, has multiple skill sets, then they are easily deployable without being made to sit on the bench or without additional training. But these are all some of the most important things that we would look at sitting at the other side of the table, that how do I make my graduate sustainably employed over a longer period of time, with only those 4 years of education that is undertaken in the university, and beyond that is his or her own capability, adding multiple certifications, adding multiple skill sets. But to what extent my 4 year degree will make him sustain in the job market for a longer duration of time. This is what is we are going to look into, and there Coursera has played a very important role.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Professor. Really sets the foundation here of the importance of micro credentials. And coming to you, Dr. Ajit Singh, on the other side of this, we are also hearing how a vast number of higher education leaders increasingly believe that institutions that fail to embed micro credentials actually face quite a strategic risk. In your experience and your perspective, what are some of the biggest risks of maintaining a very traditional degree model? And what opportunities would you say exist for institutions who are willing to innovate?
Uh, it's a pleasure to be part of this event organized by ET Education. Uh, actually, as far as these risks are concerned, we all know that the meaning of education is holistic development of the student. And if we see holistic development, it is a combination of development of mind and skill also. So as far as development of mind is concerned, development of mind is required to take rational decisions in the life, and skill is required for employment purposes. So, first of all, we have to frame our curriculum according to the job requirements, and we have to align with the industries. And if we do not do this, there will be big risk. There will be mismatch between the curriculum and the industry requirements, employers' requirements. So, first of all, we have to see that what type of education we are providing, higher education institutions are providing. The education should fulfill the purpose. If there is no holistic development of the student, and if there is no skill development of the student, there is no use of this education. So we need to create such an environment, education environment, in which we have to ensure the holistic development. There is a sustainable development goal of government of India, that is SDG 4, and according to SDG 4, we are to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all by the year 2030. So, by the year 2030, we have to make sure that all these things are provided to the students. So, we have to align with the industries, employers, what is their need, and we have to prepare the students according to their need. Because as far as job requirements are concerned, they are fastly changing. And today we are talking about AI and ML, and unskilled workers will be shifted to those machine learning programs. So skill is required for every student. Every student has to undergo the skill development. Although, as per National Education Policy 2020, it has been ensured that there is a mandatory to start skill enhancement course, and higher education institutions are providing skill enhancement courses, and credits have also been fixed for skill enhancement courses. And on the other side, ability enhancement courses are also being started, but there are various micro credentials which are also required in addition to degree. So degree will not fulfill the purpose, and these micro credentials are mostly required, and there should be some system, formal system, to creditize these micro credentials, because in the form of certificates they must be given, and those certificates will be recognized by some agency, and there should be some assessment criteria. And there is one good thing there, NEP 2020, that is RPL, recognition of prior learning. And provision has been made in NEP 2020 that if any person has learned something, that learning will be assessed, and credits will be provided to that RPL recognition, will be given to that prior learning. On the other side, if some courses are being started with the degree program, curriculums has been fixed by various universities, and on the other side there are various agencies which are providing these micro credential courses, and students should be tech ready, students should be job ready, and employers needs should be fulfilled. So,
Absolutely.
as far as these requirements are concerned, risks are concerned, if these things are not taken into consideration, there will be big mismatch between the demand and supply. And
True.
students will not be successful in life if um, these things are not taken into consideration. And upscaling is also required uh, continuously, because things are changing very fastly, and updation is also necessary. So all the higher education institutions have to take all this consideration.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Singh. And yes, truly, with this pace of change, I think no conversation about higher education can be had without understanding the impact of technology and AI, especially. Dr. R.K. Taylor, I'd like to come to you on this point. In this highly AI driven world that we are living in, what would you say undergraduate degree of the future should look like? And tying in with micro credentials, how can micro credentials really complement classroom learning, internships, and again, just truly gearing up our students for the future?
Yeah, thank you so much for taking me in this panel, first of all. See, presently we need to understand the pace of learning for the students. As we are talking about the higher education, still the higher education syllabus and all the details are based on the traditional model. In the present time, it's a heavy requirement to adapt the syllabus and make the future ready students. So for that purpose, we need to work towards industry and academia collaboration in such a way so that the student can get and they may learn what exactly they will do after some time. We in academia normally what happen, we are just stick on a particular subjects or a particular training program which may or may not be sometime aligned with the future requirement of the industry, and that's why we have a gap with the help of these problems. So I believe personally, which I already feel about that, and I had already discussed many things on Coursera. Through these micro credentials, at least student can learn many things. They can get different expertise certificates which are really aligned with the industry, and these help them in future for their personal growth and for their academic growth as well. When we are talking about AI and the technology, even specifically, I would say presently technological advancement has raising day by day. We need to understand the present requirements of a student, what they want, and where they see themselves after 5 year or 10 year. And with the help of this technology, they can get more advanced tools. They can learn many things. As everybody will be agree on this panel that the present rise of AI and tech, if we are if we will train our student in terms of AI and we give them a proper training on ethical use of AI, they can do better in their futures. And of course, the academia will also get good perspective for the development of the higher education, which is important for everyone, whether they are the students, stakeholders, or any teachers or any higher education administrator or leaders. The major problem lies with the conceptual aspects. We are dealing with the Gen Z now, and we know very well that Gen Z are they have a lot of questions. We seems that they are arguing with us, but they are asking their questions. They are clearing their doubts with them. What benefit they have by doing any XYZ courses? So I believe if we are ready to clean up their doubts, we are ready to serve them what they expect in the future and how they can get it in a better way. I think really the Coursera and the team and the AI tools and the many certificates related to Coursera will help them and they can make their career. See, the present time, what happened now, that people are running behind the time, and the possibility of the degrees and certificates are available everywhere. We are talking about online courses, traditional courses, and there are a lot of universities and institutions are providing a lot of courses to them. But the problem is that the students and might be majority of stakeholders do not aware about how to handle the situation, how to pass the proper knowledge to the students so that they can get better. We are dealing with the students who are handling the technology, but sometimes, on the contrary, there are a lot of myths and myths we have to handle these students. So that's the right perspective if we implement these type of courses in our curriculum, so that everything whatever they want to know which could be mapped with the industry oriented thing, and they can learn better. This is my perspective on that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Professor. And Prashasti, I think this is a great time to come to you. You know, we've heard really insightful feedback from all of our professors so far. And coming back to our Coursera's 2026 Micro Credentials Impact Report, there's a few truly startling statistics in here. And one of them says that 89% of employers in India are using skill based hiring for entry level roles, right? So, how would you say, in your experience, should higher education respond to this shift that we are seeing very, very clearly in employer expectations?
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining the panel, and thank you, ET, for inviting Coursera and me. And Dr. Nagaraj, thanks for so much of appreciation. It was the perfect segue. Very grateful that we have evangelists like you who are bringing these benefits to the students. Devina, higher education needs to see this 89% figure, as a permanent shift in the way the employers are now evaluating capabilities versus degrees. Good part is in Indian ecosystem, degrees are not going away, but obviously skills are taking precedence, and it is no longer, a skill versus knowledge conversation. And this is not a passing trend. But when we look at what a future strategy, what an action point for universities should be in this scenario, we have to think about the opportunity, we have to think about the advantage we have, and then decide what the future is. What is the opportunity? The opportunity is 20% of the world's demographic working population lives in India. 16% of them are already AI trained. But at the same time, um, and this is a great advantage for us. But at the same time, $1.7 trillion productivity that AI should be adding to the Indian ecosystem by 2035, we are significantly behind in adding to that productivity, because about 38 million jobs will be replaced, and we are adding 1 million shortage of 1 million workers every year to this gap. And the universities have a very, very important role to play here. Employers are becoming AI native. We're talking about AI native organizations. Is our education also AI native to keep pace with the rate of change? And AI is definitely an accelerator on the education side also, because the pace of change is now so fast. What we need are agility curriculums. It is no longer about pedigree. There has been a lot of democracy that has happened through the availability of AI tools for anybody to get supported knowledge and information and satisfy curiosity. But visible, verifiable skills are important for employers that are coming out of the university ecosystem under a credit recognized system, so that the employers have a satisfaction that not only are these skills demonstrated, but they're also assessed correctly. And traditionally, when India saw the IT revolution, the skilling part was shifted, to the pre-placement year, and there were career services teams focusing on that. We've moved away from that. We have to bring AI native curriculums into the university system. We have to think about micro credentials as an agility mechanism for institutions to adopt their curriculums very, very fast with respect to what the employers are asking for. And they provide this continuous opportunity to the students to learn different skills. They are verified because the employers themselves are creating these micro credentials, and they're also creating it in alignment with the job roles that are changing. I'll give you a simple example. There was a problem statement that Narsi Monjee University came up with. They said across all our programs, and there are more than 100 programs there, we would like to build AI competency in such a way that we have people who should be AI fluent, so that they understand the risks, the governance, the ethics, and are able to function day to day with it. But there are programs where we want AI builders. So, how do we make sure that our curriculum every semester ensures that this progress is being made by students so that 3 years hence, 4 years hence, they are available to the industry as the right guy for the job? And that's the problem statement we try to solve through Coursera's learning solution by building agility into the curriculum, by delivering these AI micro credentials on a very immediate basis across a spectrum of programs. So it doesn't really matter whether you're a commerce student wanting to have a career in stock market, should be fluent with AI trading algorithms, right? It does not matter if you're a mechanical engineer, because you should be fluent with AI based, robotic based automation, because that's where smart manufacturing is going, right? There are a lot of shifts that are happening, and universities are at a very big advantage to create what we call 60-year curriculums. We know about lifelong learning, but we don't actively discuss about 60-year curriculums. How can universities continue to be relevant for Generation Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, and so on and so forth, coming back to the university systems to harness the knowledge, research, continuously throughout their life cycle, because lifelong learning is actually happening now. Technology is changing faster than we can grip. So, employers saying 89% of them would obviously value skill based hiring is just, the start of the shift. But the shift is here to stay, and it will become more and more progressive in future months and not even years. Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Prashasti. And yes, truly some very startling statistics there, I think we can agree across the board. And, Professor Anupama, I would love to come to you now to help us look a little bit into the future, right? We've heard from everyone here about how important micro credentials and being truly tech ready and tech savvy is. Let's say, looking ahead 5 years, what do you think will distinguish universities that successfully re-architect this degree from those that continue to stay on more traditional models? And what would you say institutions must start doing today to stay ahead of the curve?
Thank you, Davina. And I think thank you for calling me in this show and being the last speaker. So I think a lot of points have been covered. But yes, what I feel is adding just few courses, like few micro credentials in the courses, will not help actually. We have to re architect the entire student learning, and there these micro credentials, they really help. And Coursera is doing a great job having, because Coursera has a broad platform, like not there are a lot of other players in this field, but I have seen and we have heard Nagarajan sir also, that Coursera has such a broad base of what we call minor degree programs nowadays. So we can, the student can choose out of whatever, and they can, it can be like mix and match things also, so that the student learning is enhanced. As Prashasti has rightly pointed out, the curriculum needs to be really now very agile. We need to be very flexible. But if the curriculum is flexible, then the assessment should be flexible, because in the traditional university system, we have a more rigid assessment system. We don't go beyond the credits we have allocated to subject, and the total number of credits, they are fixed. So we really don't want to budge away from that. But if we really want to enhance the learning, and if we want to really make the students ready for the future ready, the industry ready, we need to have this assessment also redesigned and becoming more flexible. Third thing, what I feel is that till now we are looking more into industry sponsored courses. And Prashasti has given a little bit about it, that it should be more the courses should be run with the help of industry. That means the industry should be co-creator in a course. Like the entire syllabus should be designed with the help of with the academia as well as industry, and not only designed, but when you deliver the course, it should be with the help of the industry. So some part the industry delivering and some part the academia delivering, so that we can get a perfect mix of the skill which is required for the student. And then it has to be, we have to be have a capacity centric model rather than a degree centric model, which we are running most of the time. Most of the universities, they have been running till now. So it is more capacity centric model. Once we go shift to this capacity centric model, then yes, the fundamentals are very important. We should not move away from the fundamentals, because most of the time when we include so many courses, we include so many micro credentials, we somewhere we the students, they lose on fundamentals. But fundamentals, along with the fundamentals, because I really advocate the fundamentals, along with the fundamentals, we have micro credentials, we have projects, we have research, we have industry internships. So it should be a combination of all, so that we come out with exactly the capacity centric model. And like I feel that just it is not only because now the total focus is towards AI, machine learning, AI, and more into, but I feel is there are other, because I'm a chemical engineer, so I feel that these micro credentials should be focused in all areas of engineering. Like if we, so that if we really want the benefit of the society, if we are preparing engineers which can really contribute to the society, then these micro credentials or these skill enhancement courses should be for all kind of engineering. Like we should prepare the engineers which are going to help you in agriculture, which are going to help you in process industry, which are going to help you in manufacturing industry. So micro credentials should be designed in a way so that each and every aspect of engineering is covered. And the last point is, like we should more, because we need more competitive people now. So till now we were focusing on the content acquisition, but now the things need to be focused on problem solving. That means we need to focus on higher cognitive skills. So the micro credentials should be designed in a way to deliver more higher level cognitive skills, so that students are they do not just use AI or these models just like that. They should be more they should not be fearing from that the AI will eat up their jobs. So, but if they are prepared for problem solving, I think they can they should not be afraid of any kind of like these problems which are going to come because of AI. So that's from my side.
Thank you so much, Professor. Truly inspiring, and absolutely what we are looking at is a future where everyone is prepared with a whole spectrum of skills, able to fill in various gaps. And I would like to ask you and the entire panel as we wrap up, we have a few minutes left. If we can leave our viewers today with one key takeaway, this is, I think, going to be the most challenging part of all, but just one takeaway to our educators today when it comes to building future ready graduates in India, that one thing everyone must pay attention to, what would that be? Professor Anupama, let's start with you.
It should be focus on multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, what the, our NEP says. Because we should not focus only, like if I'm a chemical engineer, I should not only focus on chemical engineering. To be competent in this, to be ready in this competent world, I should know everything. I should be it was like earlier said, jack of all trades, master of none. But I need to be master of all. I need to work in all areas if I want to be competitive in this world.
Right, wonderful. Thank you. Professor Nagraj, how about you?
We talk too much about AI, so let me tell something about AI. I keep telling my students that AI will be there, and AI was there and will be there. We have found out it's nothing. I always tell, make AI your slave rather than you becoming its slave. You need to make AI your slave, and unless and until I, as an individual, create those unique solutions, create those unique problem solving ways of doing things, giving different solutions to a problem, unless and until the human intelligence, the real intelligence adds value to the data which is sitting. We are creating huge data centers, and all those data is nothing but the data which people have already created, and somewhere it is dumped somewhere, and it is available for people to harness and then get best possible solutions, but it is coming out of the already available solutions. Now, how do I improve those solutions? Is obviously I need to add my intelligence into it, and that's where I say, don't lose your natural skills. AI can only be your slave, and you don't become its slave. So don't lose that innovation, don't lose the critical thinking, don't lose the problem solving capabilities. Keep harnessing on, keep cultivating on those things. And as Ma'am Anupama Sharma said, we'll have to, give that important thing into the student, where the concept of multidisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity. And I was always vouching for a branchless engineering, where I have spoken about this, where you just create an engineer without branch. And everything is now, digitized IT and all that. So your mechanical engineering is also 70% IT engineer, and electrical engineer is also a 70% IT engineer. So that specialization happens only in the end. So why call them separate? Why give them that term? And this solves the major problem. I think all of us sitting here, vice chancellors would agree. Core engineering is losing its people now. We have been reducing the intake in core engineering, and we'll say it in future core engineering, there will be a dearth of core engineers. Why have we gone into these situations? Basically because we are giving too much of importance to computer science and artificial intelligence. That can only be mitigated by creating that unison of all knowledge into single basket, and then allow the student graduate to pick from there. And that is what would be the answer to your last part of the question, where you say, how do you reorient or re-architect the degrees? So the re-architecture of degrees can happen only when the thought process changes, only when we say that you should work towards cognition of engineering, where all engineering can become one, and the solutions emanate out of those baskets. I think we need to redesign the curriculum in that particular aspect.
Thank you, Professor. Dr. Singh, let's come to you. What is that one key takeaway we can leave our viewers with today?
Yes, Professor Anupama has rightly said that curriculum design is the most important thing, and it should be designed with the help of specialists. And as far as delivery is concerned, they should be made part of curriculum delivery. So we all will be agree that there is some insecurity among and there may be some problem with the jobs. But if the curriculum design has been made with careful things, and after that delivery is good, confidence has to be created among the youth, that you are being prepared for these job opportunities, and after this there will be no dearth of various jobs. And another thing I want to say that teachers must play their role, because they can create confidence among the students. There should be awareness among the students about various schemes, various education provisions which have been made, and they must be taken into consideration.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you for that. Dr. Taylor, how about you?
See, in my opinion, already my CS speakers have discussed the same content, and I belongs more on the Gen Z, because we are dealing presently with the Gen Z category of the students. The first important parameter which we need to understand seriously on that it is not a one frame pedagogical issue related to student only. It comes to the teaching part also, because when we are talking about reskilling and upskilling, there are both the parties should be covered and understand the relevance of the impartment of the AI in the curriculum. Because let's say when we are developing any syllabus or any curriculum framework as par as in the combination and with the industrial relevant aspects, the teacher should be trained first to give the proper information to the student. Otherwise, whatever development we are doing in our framework, which it will never impact to the result outcome. I'm 100% agree with the Nupama madam, which was she was absolutely said the right direction. The student needs to understand what is their requirement instead of the burden that they need to select humanities, science, commerce, or engineering. That is totally being passed. I think it will coming time it will be no in their use, because the involvement of AI in every field requires, and you can replace that the shift of the work. As I'm working on robotic automation in India, there are a lot of activities are still pending where the opportunities are available for our student. The major pinpoint in one shot is we as instructor or as a teacher tell them that what is the right way, how to handle the AI. AI would be your friend, not is going to snatch your jobs or your career. That is the most important thing which I would like to address here. That AI, as Sir says, that AI is a slave. Yes, of course it is. But you should understand how to implement AI in your daily curriculum. Then you can learn more. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doctor. And finally, Prashasti, let's come to you and really kind of pull our conversation together. And yes, let's really leave our viewers today with these key takeaways at the end of a very enriching conversation. What would you say is one thing that all educators must keep in mind when it comes to building our future ready graduates in India?
I think the degree of the future or the future of the university should combine three things. And I'm just wrapping up and borrowing the notes that other speakers have left in their conversations. One is we're talking about strong foundations, and strong foundations means critical thinking, systems thinking, communication. We're talking about practical digital fluency, which is applied in nature and not just absorbing what technology can do, but be able to apply it in real world problems. And the third is half life of skills is getting shorter and shrinking because AI is a reality in every domain. So how can we give continuous exposure to real world applications for students? And all of this is not only relevant for students, we need to bring the faculty competency also up simultaneously in all of these areas. So the faculty is more empowered in this faster pace of change to ensure that they go away from delivery to outcomes based teaching and learning processes in the university, so that it's broader in capability but modular in delivery. I think that would be a perfect situation to be a learner, to be a educator, and to see the dream of Viksit Bharat happen in reality.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And truly, what an inspiring time to be a student. I feel it would be wonderful to have an opportunity to learn with all inspiring educators like yourselves. To our panelists, thank you for joining us. It's been such a pleasure to spend this afternoon with each of you, understand your insights, and really leave our viewers with some inspiration about what the future of education in India looks like. Thank you. And to everyone else, thank you for all of our viewers for joining us. We'll see you in the next episode of Leading the Change with Higher Education Leaders very soon. Thank you for joining.